What's up, everyone? It's Roger and APF from DisKingdom.com with another episode of the DisKingdom podcast. On this episode, we're going to be discussing the recent updates and news about the Star Wars Battlefront season pass information. So, Abe, did you get a chance to look at all this week?
Absolutely. I've been playing. It's so much fun. I love Battlefront. Yeah, man, it's just awesome stuff to come. Anyways, go ahead and read it all off so you can give it the official information.
The official information, yeah. So there's so we'll break it down into two parts. We'll first off discuss the sort of the update, the January update, which we can do now. So there was I think the main things were the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker now have costume changes for Hoth battles, which I think is a cool update. Have you actually seen this in person yet? Because I haven't seen it yet.
I actually only saw Luke, and the cool thing about it too, it kind of gives them like more of a camouflage look because they're more dressed to their surrounding. So I do like that. I do like that because it was easier to point out. Oh, look, there's somebody wearing black and a green lightsaber. That's Luke. It's easy to find out. So this is good. It'll kind of blend a bit.
Yeah, I was just having that same thought because Luke Skywalker stands out so much in it. It also kind of changes that thing of him looking like he's out of the last movie into the first one, which does break canon, which they apparently can't do.
You cannot break canon.
Yes, but now it's changed. So it does it it looks like it probably does it automatically rather than. I like the idea that they've done this. This is obviously something they're adding in later on.
I do like also some of the new things in the update. I do like the ability of doing a private match. I was able to do it with a couple of friends. What was it, like a couple of days ago? And it's nice to be able to play against just your friends and not have to deal with anybody else. So it's kind of cool.
So does it when you do a private match? Does it actually do? Are there like robot sort of people in there, or is it literally just you and him in there together?
It depends what game. Mode. I was gonna say it depends what game. Like for example, like if you do the Fighter Squadron missions.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have AI pilots flying around as well, but it'll only let you do a private match up to 4 people for that one. So it has to be 2-on-2 plus the AI pilots. But as far as like just shooting and stuff, like it depends what mission guys or so on. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, like something like Hero Hunt is like it's only like an 8-player game, so that it's just 2 of you running around, or like Walker Assault, if it's just 2 of you playing or 3 of you playing, it could be a bit odd.
There's a certain amount of have in order to do your private match, so it can't just be like it's just you a certain amount of people. So it depends on the game.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Other updates from the game include, I think that this is the bit that I had to go on, was the Tatooine map is now been added to a load of the online versions. Previously, it was only available as part of the I think the solo survival missions. Now you can play it. So I did play on Tatooine planet, which was cool. Nice to see them adding a little bit of extra use for that.
Yeah, I was happy to see this added because, not only was this the map that I first played this game ever, like I played this at E3, that was the map we did, but I also did that, obviously, like you said, on the survival mode, and it's nice to actually have real people fighting on that because it did seem like a wasted map because that map is awesome.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of this in the future of all those maps. I think all those maps that we get in the survival mode are all going to be added over the space of the next few months. During these, and it's all part of the free updates, because in theory now I must admit that you kind of think, well, why wasn't this released at first? Because it might have fleshed out that initial reaction to people saying there's not enough content if all of those survival initial maps had been added to the multiplayer one. Adding it as free DLC later down the line, it was already in the game. It did seem a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of things like that. They're going to be pulling resources from other maps that they already have built and probably make it available to everybody. And if I can change the subject really fast, one of the coolest things I do enjoy is that daily challenge. it just keeps you coming back to play every day now. As a, I went from playing a lot to like playing casually. Now it's like I'm gonna have to visit the game at least once a day, just so I can meet that challenge. Quick way to earn more credits and experience. So I definitely like that.
Yeah. Though I have noticed there's that one thing that they sold like 13 million copies. There's plenty of people out there playing it. I think as I'm not playing it as actively the last month, you definitely feel like people are leveling up and you kind of falling down a bit. So I start to see a lot more black sort of troopers and stuff running around and like going, run.
Well, at least they're easier to single out when you're in Hoth, so don't worry about that part.
That's cool. There was a load of tech. I mean, they literally did a load of tweaking, absolute ton of like minor little details to try and improve. I know Boba Fett has been, he's had his wings clipped a little bit.
He's been nerfed a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally a whole list of stuff they've changed.
The homing shot got nerfed too. That was horrible.
Yeah. Spawn points, reduced shots. They've changed the threshold players. I noticed they've lowered the minimum player mode on all the games.
Right.
Which I think with less people playing the game, that was probably a good idea, because rather than you sitting there in the lobby waiting for it to fill up, now you can do a 4-player blast or a 20-player walk or so instead of waiting for 40 or 8 people, which I think is a good option.
What's funny too is like I prefer a smaller party, especially like something like Fighter Squadron, because I've done it where there was only 4 of us and it was like a long 20-30 minute match. But at the end of it, you had knocked down so many TIE fighters or X-Wings, like your credits were insane. I think I earned like 15,000 credits that one game. So I mean, it's cool to have that option.
It's one of those. It's still that great thing I found, like, and I still did it this week, was the fact of just picking it up, jumping in, shooting away, having a blast. It didn't matter if a guard died. I had probably a pretty poor attempt at it, but this is just I think it's that perfect game just to pick up and play for 20 minutes, half an hour, and then jump back into.
No, absolutely, I totally agree with you there.
So that's kind of, I mean, there's a load of, like I said, a whole load of some bugs that got done, but I was a little bit more interested in the season pass information that came out.
Right.
That we'll go through here. So I'm just going to bring that up again. Like I said, we've got more updates coming in terms of free DLC. There's going to be some more free DLC coming in March as well. And they quickly talked about all the bits and pieces. But what we're really interested in is this season pass stuff that we've paid for, and we want to know what the hell we're getting.
Yeah, come on.
So let's jump into. Let's go to March's pack is going to be called the Outer Rim, and you fight amongst the factories of Solace and battle within the Jabba the Hutt Palace on Tatooine.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more bar fights inside this palace now.
Yeah, it's kind of going to be interesting to see what they do with this. It's definitely, I think, we don't really know what's included in these sort of packs, expansion packs, because it's about £10, $12 a pack. So it's gonna I think there's gonna be more than just a single map. I think there's gonna be quite a bit of an update. I think there's gonna be heroes included, and I think there's even some new game modes. I think, if I'm right as well. This is where they're really gonna get some real with these versions.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I'm also excited for the second expansion, which is I think the Sky Planet of Solace.
Is by Spin, which is Summer of Hunt.
That's right.
By Spin. It's Hunt or Be Hunted in this action experience set in the Cloud City. So again, and then Autumn is going to be bringing the Death Star, which is there's no moon, one of the most iconic locations in Star Wars, which makes its debut. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
I want a fighter squadron mission in space. That's what I want. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. I think that's and also they could do the same with Bispin as well, a bit easier.
Yeah.
And then expansion pack number 4 is to be confirmed early 2017. We'll have more about that in the coming months. They didn't really announce a huge amount on those season pass things. It's literally just a name and a title. We don't know what's included. We don't know what heroes are coming, what maps, what game modes. There's still tons of news coming for them.
Yeah, and I was looking into the information on these, and even IGN was given like really vague details, but they were saying something about the 4th expansion being a little mysterious, hush hush, which kind of leads to that theory that you were mentioning in one of your earlier videos this week, which is could we see a tie-in with Rogue One, which would be interesting because they can't break canon.
Yeah.
That's the only story that might actually work. So, or even some Rebel content, who knows? So we'll see.
I think Rogue One is a lot more of a shoe-in because it technically had episode 4. And it was, I think it would make sense for them to try and get a cast of Star Wars with the movie coming out, because I definitely do not think we're getting Star Wars yet. I mean, this is we've got Battlefront all of this year right into early January, so it's going to be interesting. I was wondering whether or not we were going to see a Battlefront for Christmas, but it does look like if they're going into early 2017 that this is going to be the main game for this year.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of quite interesting sort of the way they've sort of spread it out. It's very much like, spring, summer, autumn, winter. We've got 4 updates spread out 3 months apart. Perfect way to get you to jump back into the game. And I quite like that. I quite like the idea that, because at least I know now there is going to be at least 4 times this year that I will jump back into that game for a couple of weeks each time, which is something that I quite often don't do with video games, because usually once I finish the level, once I complete or I've had enough of a game, I barely go back into it. But Battlefront is very different because it keeps drawing you back in with these updates and new maps and stuff. I've already found that I've done that the last 2 updates.
I what I like about Battlefront, it's like you're never really finished, so it's like I always find myself coming back constantly. A couple hours this day, a couple days could go by. Oh, a couple hours this day. It's cool. It's a cool game to come back to.
That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty much going to wrap up our Star Wars Battlefront sort of news this week. It's just, like I said, it's been quite a big update for Star Wars Battlefront and lots of news coming out. But hopefully we'll have a little bit more on this in coming weeks ahead when we find out a little bit more about that expansion pack, the Outer Rim one that's coming out. But as per usual, remember to check us out at DisKingdom.com. Remember to check out us on our DisKingdom Twitter and Facebook. We also have our Patreon as well. Ethan over at swordofapps.com and Magic Band Collectors. If you don't know too much about Magic Bands, remember I did do a recording in the previous episode last week where I spoke to Ethan and we were discussing all about Magic Bands and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And also, just a quick announcement that we are celebrating a year of DisKingdom this week, and we are giving away a $50 DisneyStore.com gift certificate, which you can find all the information over on the website as well. And so that's going to be running this week. So there we go, Abe. Anything else you want to add before we close off this episode?
Nope, going to go play now.
He's ready. Anyway, guys, see you guys in a later episode. Laters.
Bye.